So the team that you have in the AFC West, the Chargers, we kind of just moved on and like, oh, cool, that's your team, Eric. But why are the Chargers your team? And I remember a week ago we talked to you. That's why I knew that you weren't high on the Chiefs and the Lions, and we got to pick your brain a little bit. But you were concerned about the Rashawn Slater injury. Why have you come around and said, all right, I'm okay with that?
Jim Harbaugh, the coach. I think in these situations you have to lean on who's leading the team, and you go back and you look at the history of Harbaugh and how his teams do in the second season. They usually have a bump in terms of how they play. With him being around, leading them in that second year. So I expect, even though they are dealing with some injuries, for the Chargers to take a bump, in terms of Harbaugh leading them in the second season. I think their talent is better than it was, his first year. So I think that's part of it too. They have a little better depth, particularly on the offensive line. So I think that helps protect them a little bit with the Slater injury. I love Hampton. He's my, even though, I like Emeka, he's my pick to win Rookie of the Year, Hampton, because I just think he's going to get 20, 25 touches a game. And I would be surprised if he doesn't run for over 1,000 yards if he's able to stay healthy. I think he's clearly the number one option there at running back, depending on what happens with Harris and how he comes back from the eye injury. I think they have enough playmakers on offense. I know there's been a lot of talk about, Justin not having enough playmakers, and I ain't buying that. Like, Justin needs to go out there and play. He's making 50-some million a year. I don't care if it's me and you out there lining up on the outside. Like, make it happen. Figure it out. You got your boy Keenan back. Keandre looks like a dude. Trey Harris looks like a dude. We obviously know what Ladd can do. Oronde looks like he can play. Like, just you should figure it out. You have one of the better running backs in the league. Like, there's no more excuses. You got to come out and ball. And so offensively, they should be able to score. Defensively, you have Minter coming back, and I think there's enough pieces defensively to still be solid on that side of the football. Obviously, Joey's gone. Tully has to step up and be a dude on the outside for them. You're going to miss Puna, I think, on the inside. Although, I think Fernando is relatively high on some of the guys. No?
No, Fernando doesn't know shit. Eric has to ask somebody else. Fernando actually knows shit.
I did ask DJ some questions when I saw him at joint practice. So, Fernando's still salty about that.
Oh, that was
DJ said the same thing that Fernando said. So I was like, oh, okay. Fernando does know what he's doing. I like Deion Henley to have an all-pro type season at the second level defensively, and then we know what Derwin's going to give you. Derwin's going to run around with his head on fire, smacking people, which I love. So yeah, I think they're positioned pretty well to go out and be, I don't know if they'll be 11-6, maybe 10-7, but they'll still reach the postseason. And I like the fact that nationally, people aren't picking them this year.
Yeah.
Every year people are like, oh, the Chargers are kind of their chic pick and trendy pick. This year, they're not that. And I think that kind of bodes well for them.
And the other point I'm going to point out what Eric said about Rashawn Slater. Teams have to go through adversity to be able to win the division and be able to do things. Jim Harbaugh knows about adversity. He's fine being able to push through it. And next man, when he says next man up, that's exactly what they do. So it's not like in years past where a Rashawn Slater goes down, you're like, okay, well, might as well scratch this season gone. But now with this coaching staff, it feels like these guys know exactly what they're doing. I completely understand where Eric is coming from.